Good afternoon, pre-K families and students. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday. We've got a great English lesson for you today. First with our morning message, which we do every day in English. Then we have a read aloud. It's Spring by Linda Glaser. I know a lot of students in my class are going to recognize this book because we read her book about fall toward the beginning of the year. And then we also have a writing activity about springtime and different signs of spring. So let's get started. Okay, everybody, let's get started with our morning message. Good afternoon, class, comma. There are lots of words that start with the letter Q, period. Some of my favorites are Queen, Quiet, Quack, and Quarter. Period. Love, comma, Miss Hancock. Awesome. Let's read it one more time. Good afternoon, class, comma. There are lots of words that start with the letter Q, period. Some of my favorites are Queen, comma, Quiet, comma, Quack, comma, and Quarter, period. Love, comma, Miss, period, Hancock. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and find some letters in our morning message. I think first we should find our letter of the week, and our letter of the week is Q. Before we find Q, if you know the sound that letter Q makes, go ahead and make it out loud now. What sound does Q make? Qua, qua, qua. Q makes the sound qua. Now let's go ahead and look for Q in our morning message. So we're going to go top to bottom, left to right, like we always do when we read. When you see the letter Q, say stop, and I will go ahead and circle it. Alrighty, let's get started. There's an uppercase Q. There's a lowercase q. Lowercase q for queen. Lowercase q for quiet. Lowercase q for quack. And a lowercase q for quarter. And it looks like that's it. So let's go ahead and count how many Q's are in our morning message. Count along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 Q's in our morning message. Now let's find the letter H. We'll use this orange color and we'll find the letter H in our morning message. Before I circle any H's, if you know the sound the letter H makes, go ahead and make it out loud now. Awesome. So the letter H sounds like it's a really hot day and it says, that's the sound the letter H makes. So let's look for the letter H in our morning message. From top to bottom, left to right, we'll look for the letter H. There's an H. Here's another lowercase h. Another lowercase h. And another lowercase h. Oh, and there's an uppercase H in my name, Hancock. Hancock. Great, that is all of our H's, so let's go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 H's in our morning message. So we have the letter Q, and the letter H. Awesome job, everybody. It's Spring by Linda Glaser. Cut paper illustrations by Susan Swan. It's spring. I run outside in thin pants and short sleeves. No thick, heavy winter coat bundled around me. I skip and leap and feel light and free. Fresh air rushes all over me. Creeks and streams are starting to flow. We hear the trickle of melting ice and snow. Then one day, pitter-patter, splitter-splatter, rain pours down. Creeks and streams rush and gush again. Now I have a question for you guys. Why do you think the ice and snow is starting to melt? What's causing that? Why is the ice and snow starting to melt? Yeah, it's probably because in the springtime, the temperature goes up and it gets warmer. So the ice and the snow that we had in the winter starts to melt and it goes into the creeks and the streams and the rivers. just like in this photo here. I dip my boot in a puddle just to see how deep it is. Swish, swish, watch this. Kersplash, it's spring. How many of you have jumped in a puddle like that before? If you've jumped in a puddle like that, I want you to look to the person who you're sitting with, if it's your mom or your dad or your brother or your sister, and I want you to tell them about the time that you jumped in a puddle. We find tight, pointy leaf buds on bushes and trees. I peel one open and see the tiny beginnings of fresh new leaves. I find some pussy willows. They look soft and sleek. I rub one gently against my cheek. The ground is growing soft and warm again. There's a clean, fresh smell in the air. We find tiny new green growing things everywhere. Animals that slept all winter are now waking up. Earthworms, frogs, turtles, snakes, beetles, ladybugs. I want you guys to look at this picture and the next picture and see all of the animals you can see. Try and find all the different kinds of animals in the pictures. One day we spot a robin. Then soon we see red-winged blackbirds and a bright goldfinch. Early in the morning we hear the birds sing. They cheep and warble and trill. It's spring. Birds fly here and there with grass in their beaks. We watch them building nests in trees, getting ready for new families. Squirrels line their nests with sticks and dry leaves, and here in this hole are new baby bunnies. Does everybody see where the new baby bunnies are in the picture? If you see them, go ahead and point to them. Good. Ducks quack to their ducklings, and geese honk to their goslings, all soft and fuzzy and out for a swim. Day by day, I watch flower buds grow and swell. Soon they burst open into bright daffodils. So sunny and cheerful, they make my heart sing. It's spring. And I want you guys to tell the person you're sitting with, how do you think the little boy feels in this picture? Look at him, look at his face, look at everything around him. How do you think he's feeling in this picture? Yeah, I think he looks really happy in this photo. He's got a smile on his face. He's kind of resting his hand in his head. He's looking at the flowers and he's looking at all of the springtime things. And he looks really happy about it. Ferns uncurl, leaves unfurl, tree branches that were bare now have tiny green leaves. It's time to plant seeds. Corn, cucumbers, beans, peas, and my very own sunflower seeds. What's the little boy doing in this picture? Yeah, he's gardening. Gardening. Can everybody say that? Gardening. The days are getting longer. Now the sun sets after dinner. Outside, we watch the sky turn slowly dark and count the stars as they come out. Then all the spring peepers and bullfrogs sing. It's spring. And back in this picture are all the frogs and the spring peepers that he was talking about that make noise at nighttime. The sun shines longer and the days grow warmer. One day I notice that the trees are all covered with full-grown leaves. Soon it will be summer, but right now it's still spring. I blow dandelion seed fluff and watch it float away. Dragonflies dip and dart every which way. I leap in the air. There's new life bursting everywhere. Come out, smell the flowers, hear the birds sing. It's spring. And there he is blowing a dandelion in that photo. And then over here we have some ideas of different nature activities you can do in the spring. So let's see what they suggest. You can watch birds flying. You can watch a nest with baby birds in it and see how the parents care for them. You can listen to birds singing. You can collect some earthworms and put them in a large jar with dirt. You can plant a little tree or a plant and watch it grow. You can get a magnifying glass and go on an adventure and look for leaves and different types of plants. Lots of fun stuff to do in the spring. You could even plant a garden. And that is the end. All right, class, so we just finished reading It's Spring by Linda Glaser. So now we have a writing activity all about spring. In that book, we learned all about different signs of spring. So they talk to us about what happens with the animals, what happens with the weather, what happens outside, what people start doing, all different things that happen in the springtime. So for our writing activity, I want you to finish the sentence. I know it is spring when. And then you fill in the blank. So when do you know it's spring? You can think about it. I'm going to show you guys an example of how I want you to do the writing activity. You can see I don't have the fancy writing paper that we normally use in class when we're in school. That's okay if you don't have it either. You don't need the special writing paper. The main thing is that I want you guys to write one sentence, and then I want you to draw a picture that matches your sentence. So we're going to get started. Right at the top, it says name. So you're going to put your name. All right, Miss Hancock. Always put your name first. And then you need to finish the sentence. So it says, I know it is spring when. So I'm going to think about, how do I know it's spring? And then I'm going to pick one thing and write about it. So I think I know it's spring when I see flowers. So I'm going to finish the sentence with my idea. I know it is spring when I see flowers. Period, because I'm done with my idea. So now it says, I know it is spring when I see flowers. Period. And then I'm going to draw a picture in my box of this sentence. So I'm going to draw a picture of springtime and seeing flowers. So I'm not going to draw a picture of snow. I'm not going to draw a picture of my tennis shoes. I'm not going to draw a picture of an ice cream cone, because that's not what I wrote my sentence about. I wrote about spring and I wrote about flowers. So my picture should be about spring and flowers. So I'm going to use my crayons over here. And I'm going to draw a bunch of pretty flowers. So I want you guys to use color for your picture if you can. We want to use color in our picture to show detail whenever we can. So there's my flower. I'm going to put a long stem on it and some leaves. I'm going to do another color for a flower. I'm going to color this one in. There's my flower, and I'm going to do a stem and some leaves. Then I think I'll do one more flower. I'm going to use this pretty blue color. Then I'm going to use this purple color. Perfect. So there are flowers, and then just to make sure everybody knows it's spring, I think I'm going to draw a big sunshine in the corner of my paper, because the sun helps flowers grow. So my sentence says, I know it is spring when I see flowers. Period. So I have a sunshine to show that it's springtime and it's starting to get warm out. And then I have my flowers, all my flowers that are starting to grow because of the sun. So I want you guys to finish your own sentence. You have, I know it is spring when, and then you come up with your own idea. When do you know that it's spring? Can be any idea, it can be from the book, it can be your own idea, and then I want you to draw a picture of it above. I hope everybody enjoyed today's lesson. The thing I want you to do now is work on that writing activity I just modeled for you. I attached a paper for the writing activity in our Google Classroom, but if you can't print that, if you don't have access to that paper, no worries, it's totally fine. Any paper, any markers, any crayons, any pencils will do. The main thing is that I want students to go ahead and finish that sentence. I know it is spring when, and then draw a picture that matches the sentence. Alrighty, have a good day, everybody. Bye.